Hi, this is Andre from Wrestle to the Top. Please like and subscribe for more interesting videos and facts of the glorious world of professional wrestling. Now, the wrestler that I want to highlight today is known primarily for two things. He had a short career, but that would be the last time I would use the word short with this athlete, because he would leave the business as a spectacle of giant proportions. I am, of course, talking about the towering, gargantuan giant, you have to see him to believe it, Giant Gonzalez. Now, let me just find him here. He's at the top. Just going to get him out there. And there he is. A little bit bigger than the other figures, and with good reason. He was born Jorge Gonzalez on the 31st of January 1966 in El Colorado, Formosa, Argentina. Gonzalez suffered from gigantism, and at his tallest, he stood at 2.31 meters, or 7 feet 7 inches, which makes him the tallest wrestler ever to have wrestled a match. But that's not the only record he would hold. Due to his incredible height, he was in his home country of Argentina positioned to become a basketball player. He was included in the Argentine national team that took part in the 1985 South American Basketball Championship, which his team won a bronze medal. He was also part of the team that took part in the 1988 Tournament of the Americas. Though they only finished in 5th place, this would however be the moment where Gonzalez drew the attention of some of the scouts from the Atlanta Hawks, a team that was part of the National Basketball Association. Gonzalez was part of the 1988 NBA draft and was chosen by the Atlanta Hawks in the 3rd round at number 54, making him the first Argentine player to be drafted by the NBA and joint tallest player ever in the league, along with the Romanian George Mirasan. Despite making history, Gonzalez had difficulty adapting to the physical demands of the NBA, partly because of a serious knee injury. Gonzalez wouldn't have to worry long about his future in the States, because the owner of the Atlanta Hawks was billionaire television producer, media proprietor, and philanthropist Ted Turner. Turner also owned the wrestling promotion WCW, and it was a natural business move for Turner to offer the Argentine a job as a professional wrestler, which he accepted. After a year of training in the WCW power plant under Jody Hamilton, the former masked assassin, Gonzalez was ready to make his debut as a pro wrestler. He was introduced under the name El Gigante on the 19th of May 1990 at the WCW pay-per-view Capital Combat, and competed first as a babyface, which means a fan favorite. His first outfit, in my opinion, resembled something like the ninja outfits out of the video game Mortal Kombat, which wouldn't come out for another 2 years, which makes me wonder if the creators of the video game might have taken their inspiration from El Gigante. He would, however, after his entrance, remove the top part of the outfit and wrestle in shorts with red knee pads and black boots, which made him look quite awkward considering his lanky and frail appearance, despite being 7'7". Over the next 2 years, he had the opportunity to feud with possibly the greatest wrestler of all time. Who would that be? That would be the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Now, where is Ric Flair? Oh, here he is. Let me just get him. Yes, That is the Nature Boy. Woo! I don't do a good woo, but I'm sure Ric Flair can still do the best woo. Now, the reason for this feud was because the Nature Boy had the WCW Heavyweight Championship, and they wanted to see if the Giant was ready for this position. But due to his heavy accent and little English vocabulary, Gonzalez had difficulty doing promos on his opponents, and the wrestling was also a bit of a problem. He would participate in the gimmick match The Chamber of Horrors in 1991, and even had a date on TBS with female manager Missy Hyatt. He would also feud with Sid Vicious. And Sid Vicious, just to name, was also an imposing figure, standing 6'9" tall. Now, where do I have Sid Vicious? Let me just get him. He's on top. And there we have him. All 6'9" of him. Well, not quite. It is just a figure. But it looks also imposing. Really imposing. Rest in peace, big man. Besides Sid Vicious, he also feuded with the one-man gang that stood 6'7" tall. And between the three of them, this would determine who the real giant of WCW was. Gonzalez would also take part in a cross-promotional stint in the New Japan Pro Wrestling promotion that was owned by Antonio Inoki. He would, however, come up on the radar of the World Wrestling Federation promoter Vince McMahon and signed with the company in early 1993. Gonzalez would compete during this stint in the WWF under the name Giant Gonzalez. He grew his beard, which made his head look even bigger and longer than it already was, and he got an upgrade on his previous outfit. Now, what would be this outfit? The one everybody can see here. Now, in real life, let me just describe it. What he wore was a full body suit that featured airbrushed muscles with bushy hair attached to the shoulders, wrists, groin, and buttocks. Now, to me, one of the most memorable moments from the New Generation era was when Gonzalez was introduced at the 1993 Royal Rumble. He wasn't a competitor in the Rumble itself, but did make one of the biggest impacts by entering the ring on his manager Harvey Whippleman's order to eliminate The Undertaker from the event. Now, where do we have Undertaker? Let me just find the proper Undertaker during that period. It would be this one. Yes, the original Undertaker. Now what happened was he did exactly as was instructed. He eliminated The Undertaker, and for the first time, the dead man looked vulnerable, especially against an even bigger opponent. This would also set up their feud that would follow at the biggest pay-per-view that year, namely WrestleMania 9, that was held at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Nevada. For this event, Gonzalez's outfit would have more changes done to it. The bushy hair on parts of the outfit was removed and just airbrushed on, which in my mind was a big mistake. It made Gonzalez look like a naked Neanderthal that looked like he needed a little manscaping about the groin area and on the buttocks. And even the buttocks on the back, it looked like he sat on a chocolate cake or could possibly have crapped his pants. So it was definitely not a nice thing to look at. Because when you look at the figure, it looks like he has brown pants. It definitely didn't look like that. And on the back, definitely not that way as well. So try and find the video of the event of WrestleMania 9 and it will definitely shock you. Undertaker won the match by disqualification when Gonzalez used chloroform to knock The Undertaker out. Despite the two huge titans wrestling on the biggest pay-per-view, the match would be described as one of the worst matches in WrestleMania history. After this, Gonzalez would lose again to The Undertaker at the next pay-per-view SummerSlam, by which the feud also came to an end. His manager Harvey Whippleman berated him after the match, by which Gonzalez turned on Whippleman and for a brief time became a babyface. On the 1st of September 1993, he would lose a match to the Macho Man Randy Savage. Gonzalez's final appearance for the WWF came on the 4th of October, the episode of Monday Night Raw, where he took part in a 20-man battle royal for the Intercontinental Championship. He would, however, be eliminated by several other wrestlers during the match. His WWF contract expired 3 days later, and he decided to leave the company. After his departure from the WWF, Gonzalez went back to wrestle in Japan for the New Japan Pro Wrestling promotion, as well as WAR, that was promoted by wrestler Genshiro Tenryu. Gonzalez went back to his old ring name of El Gigante. He worked during the stint with local stars like the Great Muta, Koji Katao, Akio Sato, and American wrestler Typhoon. His final singles match was on the 8th of February 1995 in a losing effort to the Great Muta. Gonzalez, however, knew that due to his health that his wrestling career would not be a long one. Since 1993, he began dipping his massive feet in the acting business. He appeared in an episode of Baywatch as a carnival sideshow freak, also as a giant henchman on the ill-fated series of Hulk Hogan, Thunder in Paradise. He also made an appearance on Kevin Sorbo's version of Hercules, playing the character Erix the Boxer. In January 1996, Gonzalez retired from professional wrestling due to a serious health issue and decided to return home to his country of Argentina. Jorge Gonzalez would die on the 22nd of September 2010 due to complications from diabetes type 1 at the mere age of 44 years. Now my final thoughts on Giant Gonzalez. Despite not being able to do a promo or have the most exciting matches, he was a specimen to marvel at. His huge size made him literally stand out from his peers in the locker room and made people gasp with shock and awe whenever he was around. Gonzalez was, however, described by those who knew him as a gentle giant with a big heart. With that said, Giant Gonzalez, I salute you. This was Andre from Wrestle to the Top.